Hello everyone, it's Noreldin Mahmoud from Mining Engineering Department. Our presentation today will be about earthquake. We will discuss the earthquake definition. After that, we will go through the occurrence of earthquake, why earthquakes occurs. After that, we will have an idea about the types and classification of earthquake. After that, we will discuss the measurements of earthquake, how are earthquake measured, and after discussing all of these, we will go through some precautions that we have to take during and after earthquakes. So let's get started with earthquake. What is earthquake? Earthquake is considered as a kind of natural disaster, such as tornadoes, hurricane, wildfire, and volcanic eruption. These natural disasters are generally not caused directly by humans, but unfortunately we live with after effects for a very long time span. So as we said, that earthquake is one of these natural disasters, and it's defined as shaking, rolling, or sudden shock on the Earth's surface. Millions of earthquakes happens every year, but they are not powerful, so we can't feel it. So before we go to why earthquake happens, the occurrence of earthquake, we have to get an idea about our Earth's surface. The Earth's surface is like a puzzle. It's not a single piece of land, but it's around 20 pieces of puzzle. This puzzle slowly moves under us, we can feel it, and those pieces are called tectonic plates. We have like around 20 tectonic plates. Here, whenever these plates smash or slide past another plate, an earthquake happens. As we can see here in the photo, when the surface where the plates slips is known as a fault. Here, this is a fault plane. Why earthquake happens? What is the earthquake occurrence? Earthquake occur when tension is released from inside the crust, and when two plates get stuck, the pressure builds up and released. As we can see here, the plates where the earthquake originates is known as hypocenter. This point inside the Earth is called hypocenter, while the plates where it occurs on Earth's surface is known as epicenter. Here on the surface, the point where the plates is called epicenter. So the pressure here builds up and released and goes to our Earth surface and cause earthquake. So let's learn about the types of earthquake. Earthquakes can be classified in three main forms, and this classification is dependent on the plate movements. The first type of earthquake is called convergent boundary, while the second one is called divergent boundary, and the last one is called transform fault. So let's see our first type of earthquake, which is convergent boundary. The convergent boundary type, it happens when one plate is forced over another plate during movement. As we can see here in the photo, we have one plate is forced over another one during the movement, and thus creating something called thrust fault. There is something called thrust fault creating here. So this is the first type of earthquake, which is convergent boundary. Let's go to the second one. It's divergent boundary type. The divergent boundary type, it happens when plates are forced apart each other, and it's usually forming something called a rift zone. As we can see here in the photo, there is one plate goes to direction and the other plate goes to the opposite direction, which creating the rift zone here between the plates, which finally causes the divergent boundary type of earthquake. So this is the second type. The last one is called transform fault. It happens when plates slip by each other. This is also called strike slip. So this is the last type of earthquake. And as we said, it depending on the plate movement. This is are the main three types of earthquake. And for sure, there is some minor types. So let's see how scientists study earthquake, how they measure it. Earthquake is recorded and measured by seismograph, or it's also called seismometer. It records seismic waves that move through the earth as a result of an earthquake. As we know that there's famous scale, which is Richter scale, which measures the intensity of earthquake. This scale starts from 1 up to 10, and 10 is the highest number in the scale. Divided, as we can see here, in significant to low, minor, moderate, intermediate, through up to extraordinary and outstanding earthquake. When the scale showing 3 or less, it indicates that the earthquake is weak and not significant, while showing more than 3 up to 5 is considered as moderate earthquake, and this could cause little damage. However, showing more than 6 and upward is less frequent. It doesn't happen too much. But if it happens, it will be very powerful and could cause serious damage and huge destruction. So, as we know, most of earthquakes are not significant and not powerful, but some of them are destructive and can destroy an entire city in just one moment. So we have to take our precautions just to limit the effects of earthquake. These are some precautions that we have to follow. For example, if we are inside the house and the earthquake happens, we have to stay indoor until the shaking stops. This is the first step. And if we are outdoor, we have to stay away from buildings, trees, and so on. If we drive a car, we have to stop it and get off from it. The second thing, we have to be prepared for aftershocks. As we know, after earthquake happens, there are some minor earthquakes, which is called aftershock. So we have to be prepared for it. For example, we have to turn off gas, electricity, and so water and so on, because because of damage, it could cause a gas leakage or fire. So we have to prevent all of this stuff. So we got an idea about earthquake and natural disaster. The thing is, earthquake is unpredictable. It could happen at any time without any kind of warning. But as we know, there are some zones in Earth which is considered the most zones prone to earthquake. So the buildings and construction in these areas in the most prone zones to earthquake, the buildings there must be constructed according to The circumstances and the factor of safety of this building should be higher than the other buildings in different areas. So we have an idea about the types of earthquake. There are three major types: convergent boundary, divergent boundary, and transform fault. Also, we know how earthquakes are measured by seismic waves or seismometers and Richter scale. Also, we discussed the precautions that we have to follow during and after earthquake. So, since it's not online presentation and you may have some question, so I left my email here that you can send me any email if there's any question for you, or you can leave a comment here on YouTube and I will reply as soon as possible. So thanks for your time. Stay safe and have a nice day.